¿Se ve bien mi pantalla?
Yes, sí.
Ok, great.
Sí, impecable.
Bien. Entonces, ¿cómo funciona? A ver, uno tiene varios anuncios corriendo y esos anuncios maybe they're going to a simple meta form or to the website form or straight to WhatsApp, we can say. And then what happens next? We used to, there we are, WhatsApp. So we used to expect a message from that lead after filling the form. For example, we can say, okay, speak to one of our realtors on WhatsApp, for example. So we will track if the message is sent or if the message is not sent, but we already know that the form is already filled. Well, in these first two scenarios, for example. Entonces, Meta normally allows you to optimize per form submission, and it's blind of what's happening next. That's the main issue here. Meta optimized for more submissions, but maybe that submissions are just people that are curious on knowing more, or that they were bored and liked the ad creative and just wants to fill the form, or maybe they're brokers or they're from our competitors that they're just trying to steal our marketing strategy. That is also super normal. So what happens next? We already have an AI phone line that is taking the role as a setter, as a qualifier. So we extend the conversion event of Meta, not to the form submission, not to the website form submission, or not even to the WhatsApp conversation. We extend it after we realize that that lead is actually interested. By which parameters? First of all, me respondió el mensaje because a lot of people write the first message, but then they don't even answer. It's like, hi, I want more information. Oh, cool. Are you already in Mexico, for example? And they don't answer. So that's the first parameter, for example. Then they have budget or they're just curious to know the price of your unit. If we already know that they have budget, okay, another step over the qualification. And they are interested in visiting, okay, then another step of qualification, for example. And just after that steps, what we do, we teach Meta and we say Meta, hey, bring me more of this. So the optimization
Yes.
event of Meta, instead of being the submission as it's normal, like all marketing agency do the submission here and they just track you clicks and submissions, we, thanks God, we already have implemented a whole CRM for you guys. We can now track what's happening after that submission because we can track the attribution of that lead. So the rules internally are if lead comes from XYZ campaigns and they are qualified, then tell Meta that this is a conversion. If not, don't tell Meta that it's a conversion. Just send it to a workflow of long-term nurturing with emails, for example.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And how does that sound for you guys?
Yeah, but that's great. That is actually the reason of that meeting, right? Is that you never really know how the marketing agency is optimizing the campaigns. So normally we have to do it manually. So I put a tag in the CRM and I put qualified, and then the agency goes into this list of qualified leads in the CRM, and from there they do some kind of optimization, right? But it's not as automated as the scenario that you're showing us right now that could be done through Samantha, which is great. And it's in real time. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one point here to add there, Lucille, is that if that optimization is manual, Meta
yeah.
has an attribution window, it's called. So if from the lead submitted the form or spoke to WhatsApp or whatever is the flow, it passed more than 7 days, that attribution is cut.
Okay.
So it won't work technically. This has to be completely automated. If not, you won't be able to be sending the proper information to Meta because Meta, the maximum attribution period is or 3 days or 7 days. You
Okay,
cannot
so
extend it
that's
more than 7 days.
Well, so clearly it doesn't work because it's every now and then that, they do this optimization. So clearly, it's useless from what you're
This is
saying.
like in real time, no?
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to do any manual labor here because the AI is
Okay.
actually taking care of that labor.
Okay, so to get to the point where the lead is ultra qualified with the 3 layers or 4 layers you described, I have a question. These layers are manually, it's a manual input by the broker, by a person, right? In our workflow, it's like a question I have.
Great question, Gianpaolo. And the answer is no. Why? Because if we expect the closers filling this information, the attribution window will also pass. We have to disqualified event. We have to do it, or if they send the message, or if we received we received the first answer, or if we put, for example, on the meta form, a great filtering questions, like 3 great filtering questions, we can put it here. If we receive the message and we want to extend it a bit more, we can put it here. Or if they qualify the AI criteria that we set up, it will be here. But if we extend the
Okay.
pixel here, it's too much volume that you will have to receive, because we have to do a simple math here. Imagine, do you have the prices of your leads right now? How much it costs a submission?
Yes.
Okay.
$25 for more.
Yeah,
Per,
it's
sub
around, yeah.
per
It's
submission.
20.
It depends. It depends. It could be anywhere between 150, 300 pesos, so maybe around $15.
15 to 25, more or less.
Okay, got it. So you know that your lead in this stage cost between $15 and $25. So between this other stage, we will have it, if it qualifies, I don't know the ratio that you have of submissions between qualified. Do you have that number? Like from 100
It's
leads,
maybe
We
like a
should have it.
25%, something like
25%.
that.
So
Yeah.
a qualified lead cost dot 25, it will be 3 times more than 25. It will be between $50 and $75 at this stage. So at this stage, you will have even less. It will cost between $125, just throwing a number in the air, and $150. So imagine this, you at least to meta to learn, you have to, in the attribution period of the campaign, because we have the attribution period of the lead, that is, as we said, 7 days. And then we have the attribution period of the campaign itself. And the attribution period of the campaign is also 7 days. So what meta does here? First of all, it leaves you 7 days para saber si el lead viene de esa campaña y si fue calificado o no. Pero al mismo tiempo, las campañas que ustedes have up and running, it have 7 days to learn. If these 7 days passed and you at least didn't have 20 events, the campaign, we can say that it was a failure. So if we put the conversion event here, we will have to invest in 7 days, at least, let me do the math, 150 times 20, 3K in 7 days. And I don't know your marketing budget right now. So this will be like super aggressive to put the submission event, Gianpaolo, in this stage of the user life cycle. The recommended stage will be at the beginning, this one, for example, or this one if we have a bit more of budget. But if you already know that is 50, you at least have to invest 50 times 20, 1K in 1 week.
Each event is a submission of the form, for example.
Yeah, this will be cheaper, the optimization. This will
So
be
the
between...
event, the event is actually what you decide. You can set the event as the form. You can set the event if the AI consider that the lead is qualified. This could be the event. Here, the main question is which event we should track to optimize the campaign. If the lead is qualified, if the leads buy the property. But as Luis was explaining, if the event is a lead buy a property, it will cost a lot because the minimum is like between 20 and 50 events submit the first week of the campaign. Because the campaign need to learn to who the campaign need to print the ads. And so we have a windows of 7 days to send between 20 and 50 events. And if the events, it's super complicated to reach because it's like a closing call or because it's something like this, the campaign will be a failure, except if you invest a ton of cash in the funnel. So what we recommend is like in a middle ground and putting the event when the AI receive at least 2 answers positive, like the person has the budget and the person want to move in the next 5 months, for example. And if there is these 2 criteria in the WhatsApp conversations, then Samantha will shoot the event to Meta. And we need to be sure in the strategy that in the first 7 days of the campaign, at least 20 events will be fired.
Okay, I'm thinking in 2 triggers that we can use. Okay, we have 3 questions in our forms. Right now, our only strategy to catch leads is from the Meta form. All right, we don't have a landing page. We don't send anyone to the web or landing page. We are prospecting from the Meta form. Okay, so we have 3 questions over there. More or less are the same questions in all the campaigns. Your budget, your reason to invest, and the timeline to invest, right? So these are 3 questions that we think that will help us or are helping us to filter with more accurate precision or more precision the quality of the lead, right? So, and if you remember, the second question of Samantha or the third question of Samantha is, do you confirm that you have X budget? So Samantha, let me see which I have open here the things that wait. Is the first question or is one. So I think that we can do this when Samantha confirms that the lead has confirmed that he has a budget and also the timeline. No, maybe with these 2 parameters we can confirm. I don't know what Lucille thinks, but we can confirm that the lead is okay and we can search for more leads like this.
Yeah, and the first one that we always skip, but is a must, is did the lead answered actually?
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's
you're
the first
right.
step because many leads, like there's a lot of curious people. Like for instance, yesterday we got a lead and she said, "Hey, I have no money, but I just want to know how it works." So it was, so there's a lot of curious people, and or they would say info, and then it would just disappear, right? So I think if you are really interested, you're gonna keep the conversation, right? So that's absolutely necessary. And we can do the confirmation of the budget. I think that would be good in order for it to be just like Gianpaolo said. The timeline, I'm not sure the timeline is really necessary, but for sure the budget is. And
Here's a point, guys, also that the Meta forms don't allow you to use conditional. You can just optimize by submission. Meta is blind of allowing you to choose, hey, Meta, consider me as optimized, the person that said budget plus 350K, for example, and the ones that want to invest for rental and that have the money right now. They just count if they answered or they didn't. That's why if we want to do the optimization in this step, we actually have to change this and doing a real, I don't know if I'm sharing my whole screen or just a part of my screen. Let me show you super fast an example. I have here, I think, yeah. Look this, for example. This is a kind of meta form, but developed by us. This has nothing to do with real estate, but just for you to understand. Here we can track the click of the lead. So I want to invest now, for example, boom. And I have up to 200K of budget. And after that, we can ask the lead the phone number. If we do an external form and we're not using the actual Meta form, we can have the freedom to tell the pixel of Meta, hey, only bring me the people that have plus 350 that want to invest for renting it after, and that want to invest right now, for example.
But that's even better, Luis, because that's in the first step. That's what we do. We want to minimize the amount of questioning, because when people get questioned, they get like bored and, you know, has to be fast. So if we can implement it in the beginning, that would be amazing. How do you make this work?
We have to develop a website like this one that is not that hard.
It's kind of like a landing, some sort of a landing.
This will be like this on the phone. And the user, imagine, they just have to press a button. It's like there's no friction at all.
That's Gianpaolo is gonna like that.
Yeah, you just press some buttons, and after you already press the buttons, then you ask the phone.
And something crazy, Luis, is the fact that even if they don't let the phone, we can still track the event that happened before. So if the guy said, I have the budget and I'm living in the US, this is the information we can track to send information to the ads. So even if they don't go and they don't put the number, we can still use this to refine and send events.
What happened with the Meta control, with all the dashboard of Meta?
But it will be up to date. They will see, because this campaign will be optimized per event. So they consider every event is a conversion. So the number that you will see on the dashboard will be actually what we are firing as an event. Your dashboard will be better because you will have more information about your leads, basically.
Okay.
And what is the other option that we talked before that
But there is the option. Me, if I have to do a recommendation, I will advise you to keep your current campaigns as it is, to don't take any risk, and do like a pilot project with this type of techniques, pilot campaigns, you know, just to try and to see how it goes. And I will do two campaigns, one with the quiz funnel that Luis showed you, and one that goes straight to WhatsApp, and then the AI is doing the work of the form. So it's like you replace the form by the AI. So it's frictionless because people land straight to WhatsApp. Yes, you will have garbage leads, but you don't care because you will not say to Meta that those leads are the one that you want, and the AI will notify Meta only when the lead is good. So even if you have bad leads, not a big deal. What you want is like having at one point good leads in order to refine the pixel of Meta.
Question, a deeper question. So those leads will not enter the opportunity pipeline.
Yeah, exactly.
The unqualified ones. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because most of the clients with who we are working, they're afraid to have like a CRM flood of like bad leads, and then the sales are like totally lost. But here we have to keep in mind that this is not a work for the humans. It's the work for an automation, an AI, a form, right? So the quiz will qualify, the AI will qualify, and only when it's qualified, we notify the humans. We notify Meta automatically.
So you have your ad campaign on Facebook, Instagram, and such. And so when they click, they would get this form instead of the usual form.
Yeah, like as you said, like a landing page, but the landing page is actually a form
Okay.
in terms of design.
And
This
the
is one
other
option.
option is to go
Straight to
directly
WhatsApp.
to the, right?
Yeah, straight to WhatsApp with the AI that asks the question. So the AI replays the form in that context.
I think that will be a more or a less step process. I'm convinced that in the way that we put less steps in the process, the people or the lead is more able to leave their contact information and answer. If we
Yeah, and
if we do like many turnarounds, it's probably that we lost the lead. That's my impression.
yeah, we have to
Totalmente.
test, but I feel you. I like the frictionless funnels. And the advantage of going straight to WhatsApp, it's also that the lead let their phone number without realizing it. Because when I shoot a message, they don't realize that now we have the number and we can follow up. And when they put their phone number inside the form, psychologically, they are thinking twice because it's a personal line. But when they shoot a message on WhatsApp, it's like psychologically, they doesn't have the feeling to feed the database.
Yeah.
Sí, por eso,
Okay.
Gianpaolo, está tan bueno el hecho de reemplazar el quiz de meta por un quiz más de este estilo, porque el usuario solo hace clic, ¿viste? Entonces ya hizo clic 3 veces y no pensó tanto porque son preguntas muy fáciles para su cerebro, y ya en el cuarto ahí tiene que poner su número y acá le pones un poquito de fricción, pero ya completó 3 pasos anteriores, entonces es bueno, dale, lo pongo. Y después de ponerlo, nosotros ya directamente podemos ya optimizar, si if we decide that el step 4 es el que optimiza, o sea, el del teléfono, y si no completó el step 5, que es donde le pedimos su nombre completo y su email, podemos seguir optimizando en base a eso, y si no nos escribió él, podemos directamente nosotros hacerle outreach. Entonces tampoco dependemos que él nos escriba o que termine todo el proceso. Es una especie de abandoned cart de e-commerce, pero llevado al quiz.
So what are you suggesting that we, because earlier you said that the point of informing Meta was a little bit ahead, right? In the confirmation.
We can choose. I will recommend, like in this specific campaign of the optimized website quiz, like this one, I will optimize by when they leave the phone and they have enough budget, the reason matches my criteria, and they are in the timeline of not curiosity. That is like just a small extending, o sea, estamos estirando poco el pixel. Está ahí cerca. It's not that much friction, as you were saying. So I will optimize by this step, for example, in this campaign. And if we find out that we're receiving more than 20 on the first 7 days, I will lo estiraría un poco más a que el AI setter confirme lo que dijo, porque mucha gente miente en los quizzes también. Pero we have to try first. Like, did we receive at least 20 events on the first 7 days? If answer is yes, then extend. If answer is no, then release even. I will optimize the pixel in this step and not in the 4. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the most advanced way to do campaigns and ads. So we went like full send, showing you like complex stuff, but it's to let you know like all of those techniques that basically media buyer and media strategists are not doing, but this is the best. And I don't know if you have like a marketing expert in your team that's like, who is doing your ads right now?
We have an agency in Merida called Bancorp, And they've been doing all the calendar for the month, the social media, the campaigns, a little bit of
digital
everything,
marketing.
right? Yeah, so they've been doing all of that, also the Google Ads. And but we're struggling a little bit because you want to have your company telling you what to do and not the other way around. And we found ourselves with very expensive leads in the beginning and very few leads. And then we had to get involved with Gianpaolo in order to have more qualified leads, a better amount, lesser cost per leads and such. And we're getting better, but we're not there yet. And I'm very grateful because this is what we've been talking about with Gianpaolo for a while, having something super simple that would help us qualify the leads from the beginning. And we haven't have this offered to us with our agency. So I didn't even
Yes.
know that you could do that, have this pre-qualifying form right in the beginning. This is huge.
And everything that happened on the back end with like firing the event to optimize the ads. This is where agencies are failing usually. They just do the basic form and they don't go further in terms of optimization. So here there is different option. I don't know what you have in mind, Luis. Maybe we can teach their agency how to do it.
I will recommend like what we are usually recommending to companies, having in mind that right now Meta is not as it was before, that it was like a place where you place creativity, you create beautiful posts. Right now, even if you check the best performing campaigns, not even they have to be beautiful. So that's like the first point. So having in mind that these pipes, estas tuberías, should be done by people, engineers, I think that is enough right now for any company to have a person in-house that is great for teaching and making them create content and that knows at least the basic on how to work with ads, and us teaching that person. Because normally marketing agencies, what used to do, tienen su empresa y contratan recursos junior que están mentoreados por un recurso senior, but the quality always depends on the resource that they actually have. And if they're big, they have a lot of people. And if they have a lot of people, they pay not enough attention to your business. So that's what always happened to great companies, that the C-levels of the companies are actually behind the campaigns normally. And I don't mean by C-level the CEO necessarily, but yes, maybe the CMO. So I think structure-wise on a company, there should be a CMO that is great at understanding the brand voice, the communication, and what actually is the sales team offering and selling. Like what is your inventory of properties, and having him inside and fully breathing your brand voice, and an engineer team like us that can co-build with that CMO the foundation, los cimientos de las campañas. And then he just changing the creatives or changing the strategy, but always using the same pipes. That's what I feel.
I have a question. Do you have people that could be doing this job? I don't know if on-site or remote, or because it's kind of difficult to find CMOs here. Like, it's not like it's a very small town, Playa del Carmen. Okay, so having people on site is kind of complicated. So even having a web trafficker is difficult. We've been looking for one for a while, but you don't find it isolated. So you have those agencies that offer a bunch of different services, but it's complicated to isolate the position. So do you have people that could maybe that work with you and that somehow could help us in this process?
Luis, we are working with people, but we are not satisfied, and we end up doing ourselves always.
Yeah.
So we know this pain because all of our clients need a good CMO, and we realize that there is a lack of skills of all of our companies in that regard. And we have the skills, but we cannot deliver the skills at scale to all of our clients. So We are trying like to staff our clients with good people. Right now, your marketing agency in Merida, if they ask you between 1 and 2K USD a month to manage your ads, this is technically enough money to have someone full-time in-house. So this being
Yeah.
said, it's better to have someone full-time in-house that you meet every day. It's like an in-house person with the hat of CMO than a service provider that you are one between other clients. And no, the point is, who can do that? Luis has way more network than me in that specific field. I don't know if you have good resources good friends in Argentina, Luis.
Yeah, the only point here is that if you find someone that really is intelligent in doing marketing, they have their own company and they are doing the marketing for themselves. So far,
Yeah,
because
story.
it's true. It's like if you have the skills of making money online, you will be doing it for yourself. You won't be offering this service to someone else. It makes no sense. So
story.
I think the best resource to find is like an ex-marketing strategist of a big company that launched himself as freelancer that you can like seduce with a good payroll. Because also, if you want to find someone good, you have to pay a lot of money because they know how much they are valued on the market and what they're able to and capable of doing. So I think the best role to find is like someone that is not the best, that is not skilled to have their own marketing agency, like a bit shy and timid and not with the best social skills, let me say. So you can have them in-house. And yeah. We used to teach a lot of marketing agencies this kind of stuff because this is engineering mixed with marketing. But
Yeah,
for
I
the
think,
sense, yeah.
no, I think that finding someone that already knows all of this, it's like, as you said before, they are playing by themselves and don't want to be working with only one company, right? So I think the best way is to find someone with some experience and train this person with this new engineering approach of doing the campaigns and the ads. And the other part is from it's important that this person has a marketing background that can help, right? But it's like a combination because it's like finding a unicorn, right? So it's complex.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, so that's a good idea, Luis, to hire someone that doesn't have the skills, but then you learn like a fast learner, someone that has a great learning curve and enough time to learn. And then we can coach him to learn all of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the
I
way
will think
we're gonna get working on that. Because in not even saying that someone that's willing to be in office, because we've had some people reaching out, but they don't want to be in the office. You know, they don't want to. They want to work remote. So that's the thing, right? At least have a few hours in the office. So it has to be someone in Playa and meet all those requirements. But we're gonna look for someone with some of the qualities that we need, and then have some sort of training with you guys. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
And do you know this platform? I will share my screen.